On TikTok, it's almost impossible to create a community. When I started to see the most success in my page is when I did start to post 3 times a day. Oh, you've got millions of views. You must be making so much money off of the views.
In the first year, I made like a 2 million or something. So I
Oh,
can't.
really?
So Clara, by now you have like 400,000 followers on TikTok,
Yeah.
30,000 followers on Instagram. Let's say you are starting from scratch again, and with the knowledge that you have right now, how would you rebuild the audience? And the second question, which platform would you pick since you know the ins and outs of both platforms right now? So which one would you pick? And then how would you go from scratch on building that audience again?
So it really depends what the end goal is. For me, it's selling digital products, but like the people that want to actually only grow their social media, I would go for TikTok because it's, let's say, easier. You can blow up overnight. When it comes to like actually selling a product, Instagram for me is a lot better. And if I would start again today, I would only, well, not only, but I would use still both, but I would focus mostly on Instagram just because it converts so much better.
So you pick Instagram. Let's say you know your niche, everything, but how would you kind of like grow from scratch? Would you post, let's say, 1 time per day? What strategy would you pick?
When I started to see the most success in my page is when I did start to post 3 times a day, which is a lot for a lot of
Oh,
people, especially if someone
yeah.
doesn't really know how to do it. So I feel like people just put too much pressure on themselves. When you start off, you can just take the whole time that you want to actually like learn how to use CapCut and how to use Instagram and maybe buy a course or like do something that will give you the knowledge. But then once you have the knowledge, I do think the best way to go is to go all in. That doesn't mean you can't have success if you don't. Obviously, you can 100%. It's just the approach that I like to have and the way I found success.
Instagram for conversions, TikTok for kind of like traffic, you would say, right? Do you spot any differences in the algorithms at all? Like, can you just take the viral videos from Instagram and post them on TikTok?
In my experience, has been very different. So a video from like if I was to post a video on TikTok or one on Instagram, it would be a very different type of video. Like in your course, there's like the looping content. That
Yeah.
type of looping content video works perfect for Instagram, but for TikTok, it just doesn't work,
Okay.
in my opinion. People just want a lot of information on TikTok in a very short amount of time. Whilst on Instagram, they kind of want that one powerful hook and then they take the time to read the caption. But on
Yeah.
TikTok, first of all, you can't have the super long caption. I feel like people on TikTok just scroll a lot faster and don't put as much as attention. They're not going to read a caption even if you tell them to. But on Instagram, people do take the time. For example, for me, I used to create a lot of aesthetic content. I wasn't much in the videos. It was mostly like views and sceneries and my travels and stuff like that. But I have noticed that recently, if you put your face, if you talk to the camera and show your personality, people are so much more inclined to watch
Hmm.
those type of videos, a lot more than just, I don't know, 3 places you can go on holiday. Which, by the way, those type of videos though work really well on Instagram right now.
We get viral videos, which is amazing when that happens. But then there are periods of time where you're not getting views, you're not getting that many, like, I don't know, comments, likes, engagement, etc. And how do you like deal with those mentally? Do you have some sort of system to bounce back from it? Because I do personally. So I'm just curious on how do you deal with that yourself?
Okay, so I'm curious to know yours as well afterwards. But the way I deal with it, I try to stick with it. So even if I have a period of time that everything lowers, obviously it takes a toll on you a little bit. Like it's you can't say it doesn't because once
Yeah.
you're used to doing a lot of use like consistently and then suddenly it just gets taken away, it's like you're like, why is it not working? Because the style of video is similar, but you just don't know how to deal with it. So at some point it has to work again, right? The right video, you will put out the right video that will then get a lot of people's attention. But
Yeah.
I have also had times that I just would stop posting altogether. But also the few times that I have had that dip and then stopped posting after, well, in my experience, after a few weeks of not posting and then starting to post again, I just found that it would pick up faster than
Okay.
the period that would just stay consistent with it. Now, I don't know if that's just me or something that I've noticed, but for me, it's definitely something, yeah, that I've noticed.
I had these dips right now, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, where you stagnate, you're not growing, and then you just strike again. It's just random like that sometimes. The way I bounce back from it is just I try to do something completely new, like change the content style. On the content side, how do you create content in one day for like a whole week, or do you create content every day? What's your like process looks like?
For me, I can't really plan in advance and make videos in advance. I do like to wake up and create the 3 videos as a first thing in the morning that I'm going to post on the same day. Also because I found that, especially on Instagram, the sounds that are trending change so frequently that if I
Mm,
plan a video today, and the way I plan it is also by creating the video plus adding already the audio and creating the caption and then saving it in my drafts for that day. If you wait for too long, then that audio will not be trending anymore, or that concept that you wanted to express is not viral anymore. So then
yeah.
it's just, I don't feel that there's much of the point of then posting it when it's just not a trend anymore. When I was doing TikTok, like only TikTok, I would post 3 times a day as well. But on TikTok, it didn't matter so much because the audios, I would use the same audio like in the same 6 months and it will still be a trending
Wow.
audio.
Yeah, that's interesting. Have you noticed that TikTok following doesn't really matter that much? Like the thing that you said about audio, right? I guess if you've been using the same audio, you should have pissed off your audience, but the audience probably is always new that watching your
Yeah.
videos, right?
I feel like there are a few people that have followed you from the beginning and they will always be there in comment and be like, oh, it's like great seeing this page grow, like stuff and comments like
Yeah.
that. But they are so few. So most of the people are constantly new. So I'm not worried about creating even the same video, sometimes reposting literally the same video with the same audio because it worked once. It's most likely going to work again.
Looks like it's the worst place to build your community, though.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for sure. As a top of funnel, TikTok is great because you get a lot of eyeballs on to
yeah,
you. But then I would for sure try to make them go to your Instagram because that's where they're actually going to follow your day to day. And if they watch your stories and all of that, you create a community. On TikTok, it's almost impossible to create a community.
and I totally agree with Clara. Instagram is hands down the best platform to grow your community and make a lot of money. In fact, I have a full program and community which is gonna show you how I was able to make nearly $500,000 using Instagram. And since you're watching this video, I'm hooking you up with an extra $700 discount. It's gonna be the first link in the description. Feel free to check it out. Check all the results that we have. Becoming a content creator absolutely changed my life, and I believe it could change yours. And I have the full system laid down for you to do the same.
If I follow you, for example, on Instagram and I watch your stories, I connect with you because I see what you do on your day to day and I can relate to parts of your day. But on TikTok, if I just see a random video of you, I'm like, and you're telling me to buy a course or I don't know, something, I'm like, okay, but why should I trust this guy? I'm just going to scroll past, you know?
So speaking on conversions, I think people are really interested like in streams of income, how many streams of income you've been able to build, how they look like in general. How do you monetize yourself as a creator right now?
There are many different ways, obviously, that people can make money online. For me, it's just like the matter of choosing one and sticking with it. When I started this online journey, I really did try a lot of different things, but then I just didn't like doing it. And for me, I need to also enjoy what I do on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, I will not stick with it. So then I came across UGC on TikTok, actually, because everyone was talking about UGC. So I started becoming a UGC creator. And while I was building my following on TikTok, then I would also become a UGC creator, create videos for brands, and I would also make money. Because this is also a misconception that I hear all the time is people say, oh, you've got millions of views. You must be making so much money off of the views. But on
Yeah.
TikTok, it literally doesn't pay you like almost anything. Well, not something that you can live off of. So you need to find a way also to make money like separately. So for me, it was becoming a UGC creator for the past like 2 to 3 years. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of choosing one and sticking with it. Also because I have found that a lot of people that don't see success online is because they try for like a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When for me personally, in the first almost year, I didn't make any money online. I was just trying different things to see what I liked and what I didn't like.
Well, for me, it's completely opposite. And in the first year, I made like a 2 million or something. So I
Oh,
can't.
really?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I didn't make any money.
Okay.
So you started as UGC creator. Would you recommend people to kind of like who want to make money as creators start as UGC creators right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think when I started, the industry was so new, and as well, I don't live in the United States where UGC was already a thing. In fact, most of my clients were also American at the beginning.
Mm,
Um, Me living in Italy and in general, I've noticed with like European countries, when I started like 2 years ago, no one knew what UGC was. So I would send my portfolios to brands and they would be like, wait, what is UGC? In fact, in my portfolio, I also put literally a section of explaining what UGC is. But
mm.
if a brand doesn't know what it is, it's more difficult for them to actually like give you the job. So I think I was a little bit ahead of my time in Europe, but I still started and I still managed to get a lot of clients from America. And then with time, I've noticed in the past year, a lot of brands have finally they finally know what it is, even in Europe.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great time to even start right now.
So those videos that you make for them, do they post them on their socials? Do you run ads to them, or how's that like process looks
Yeah,
like?
well,
Because yeah.
it depends on the agreement that you have with a brand. Obviously always needs to be discussed before you sign any contract or anything. How it works is a brand sends you an email or you send an email and then they contact you back. They pretty much just tell you we need one video or three videos for an ad. Then
Mm,
you know that video is going to go into an ad and then you set the price and you make the video. So that video they will only use for the ad. But most videos that I have created were for social media posts. So they literally just wanted to post them on their Instagram feed or as a reel.
I'm just gonna leave your Instagram, by the way, in the description. So for the people that want to learn more about UGC, they just text you because personally, I've done it myself. Like it's a no-brainer offer for brands to have this because they can post it on their social, it can blow up, and also they can run it as ads, as you said. Right now, like with so many UGC creators as well popping up, would you say that having an audience yourself helps you to get those clients easier?
I always say, like, when you start becoming a UGC creator, also create a personal brand. I feel like there's nothing more powerful than a personal brand, whatever you want to do online, just because people find you, first of all, also a lot easier. If I don't have social media,
Mm,
or let's say let me have a personal page, brands won't be able to find me. The only jobs I will be able to find is from me doing so much outreach. But because
yeah.
I also focused on creating a personal brand while I was becoming a UGC creator, I have a lot of inbounds. So for
Yeah.
me, that's a lot less work because obviously brands choose you. And when they choose you, also the price point goes so much higher. There's a lot of creators that are happy with $100 for one video. But if the brand comes to you, usually it's like minimum of 1,500. So there's a lot more
Wait,
negotiation
wait. For a video?
for one video. Yeah.
When I was a UGC creator here in my
Yeah.
small little country, I was charging that much for 30 videos per month. Like I was getting paid 1,000, not even 1,500. I think it was like 1,200 or something like that for 30 videos.
I've noticed a big difference. Obviously, it depends. I still get to this day people that are like, for $20, oh, like we want a video, and obviously you turn those down. But that was just my experience. Like if you do the outreach, yeah, like $200-300 is the norm for one video, which is still good, especially if you're starting out. But if you can manage to get those inbounds and get 1,500 for one video, then you can create like well, in some countries, even one video and you're fine for the month.
For creators who are from, like, let's say from Europe, do you suggest to work with only like European brands? Because I've noticed that when I was doing that, US brands, they always wanted to work with US based creators somehow. They just wanted to send products to them and they didn't want to deal with Europe creators. So would you just focus on Europe?
It depends. I think the biggest thing is what language do you speak? So if I come from Italy but I only speak Italian, then obviously I will be limited to Italy.
Yeah,
But if you do speak English and you speak English well, I don't think there's a limit to that. I think you
sure.
should pitch to people from all over the world. I've worked for brands in America, but also from Australia. And I feel like in America, especially, the reason they tend to only want to work with US based creators is because of shipping, and if they send products and all of that, it was so much cheaper than sending it all the way to Europe. But at the same time, for me, because I was traveling a lot, most of the brands I would make UGC videos for were on like the online
Mm,
brands like or anything like that I didn't need to receive necessarily the physical product. So there was
mm.
no shipping involved.
Like software
So,
companies and stuff, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And those type of companies, they don't have any type of problem with hiring you, even if
Yeah.
you're from Italy, just because.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So as I told you earlier, like a lot more brands, even in Europe, are now getting into the whole UGC trend, and they do want those videos. So if someone is from Europe, I would still, though, try to find opportunities everywhere.
Speaking of Europe and Italy, you travel quite a lot. It looks like you're always living in summer. Let's say people want to live this travel lifestyle like as a creators. What would be the first steps for them to get there? How would you like approach the plan of attack? So after a year, you could be traveling the world and doing this full time yourself again. So what the plan of attack would be? Would you become a UGC creator and then start slowly building up your personal brand, or how would you approach this?
I would become a UGC creator and build your personal brand at the same time. But then again, it's literally my experience because that's what I've been doing for the past few years and what I'm good at.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that if you find something else that you're more passionate about, you can still like do that and have so much success with it. So for me, the thing that is very important that I want to like get to people is, yes, for me, UGC has worked and is a great way to start. But at the end of the day, everything works. You just need to pick one and really stick with it. But
Okay.
yeah, if I were to start again, I would become a UGC creator, build up my personal brand, so that brands can find me as well. And then just once you have enough clients that, especially monthly retainers that you know from now in 6 months, you more or less know how much you'll earn. Then you can start also planning your trips and travel because you don't want to like find yourself on the other side of the world and then like have no money left, obviously. But also a lot of people think traveling, even if it's full time, like if you're going from one country to another, they think it's so expensive. But travel
Mhm.
doesn't have to be expensive. Like obviously, if you go to, I don't know, some penthouse in Miami, it's going to be super expensive. But the places I've been to, like some of them are more expensive than others. But it always depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
Airbnb is just fine. And if you're a UGC creator, you can also create videos for them and get a cheaper stay. And that's what I always did.
Wow.
So I would, yeah, so I get things like apartments for less anyways on Airbnb. I still have to pay a part for it, obviously. But then you don't have to go to dinner every night if you don't want to. Or if you want to save some money, you can get an Airbnb so you can cook something for yourself. I have a lot of comments of people saying you just live the luxury lifestyle. But
Yeah,
most of my clips are places like that are you can go for completely for free. It's just a
yeah,
landscape. It's just a viewpoint. But
exactly.
people just think, oh, just because it looks nice, it needs to be luxurious. No, you can literally not even rent a car. You can go around by train. So many ways to not spend a lot of money and still have an amazing experience.